Hello guys, so let's continue the properties, chemical properties we are discussing. Where we have started, let's continue from there. Okay, so I think with respect to hydrates we have done. Now let's talk about with respect to oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. Already we have said, like in the last class, that metals on reacting with oxygen will form first respective oxides, further reaction with oxygen will form peroxides, further reaction with oxygen will form superoxides. So here I can write it as this is, in this case it is a, excuse me, okay. So in this case it is a normal oxide, normal oxide, and this is what peroxide. Peroxy linkage is like this, doubly bonded, sorry, oxygen, two oxygens are bonded in between them by a single bond, and superoxide is like this. Superoxide contains the odd number of electrons. See here you can see how many electrons. Normally a bond contains 2 electrons, but here you can see like this is a bond, no doubt, 1 2 electrons here, but here it is a 3 electron bond, 3 electron bond, meaning the superoxide contains odd number of electrons, odd number of electrons. So to begin with metal reacting with oxygen, with an example, let's say simple one, that is lithium. Lithium reacts with, let me make some space, I will write it inside. Lithium reacts with oxygen to form lithium oxide. Lithium oxide. Sodium and no further reaction with oxygen. It cannot form peroxide and it cannot form superoxide. Whereas sodium on reacting with oxygen can form sodium oxide. Further reaction with oxygen will form Na2O2, sodium peroxide, and no further reaction with oxygen into superoxides. Whereas potassium, rubidium and cesium on reacting with oxygen will form K2O. On further reacting with oxygen will form K2O2. On further reaction with oxygen will form KO2. Similarly, RbO2 and cesium peroxide. Okay, so this is what we observe, the various oxides reacting with the metals to form normal oxides, peroxides, superoxides. Now why is it like lithium can form only this, why not the other? Why sodium can form these two but why not the other? Okay, so for this we have a reason. Let me write over here. The reason is smaller cation is stable with smaller anion and vice versa. Meaning, suppose I have lithium's case. Lithium is smaller atom, Li plus, smaller atom, Li plus is having like lithium is a smaller atom having certain amount of positive charge on it, plus 1. And if I talk about cesium, bigger atom and same amount of plus 1. Okay, so smaller size of lithium holding a huge amount of positive charge on it, and cesium being a bigger atom holding a positive charge on it. So which is relatively stable? Although all the lithium, sodium, potassium, all of them are unstable. Okay, they are not. They get stability only by bonding. Okay, but lithium case it is stable with smaller cation is stable with smaller anion. So oxygen with a negative charge is smaller in size. Oxygen with double negative, like 2 oxygens. Okay, 2 oxygens means little bigger in size. Here also I have two oxygens and the charge is still greater. So smaller anion, that is smaller cation, is stable with smaller anion. Lithium would love to go with this. Sodium would love to go with this. Potassium would love to go with this. Potassium, rubidium and cesium would love to go with this. Okay. So the point is this: lithium cannot form peroxides and superoxides. In some books it is mentioned like lithium peroxide is there. Yes, it is true. That is lithium peroxide, and similarly sodium superoxides are also there, but in very minute quantities. So it is so minute, or it is in traces, that we neglect it. We are just talking about generally. Generally, lithium forms only peroxide, sodium forms normal oxide and also peroxide. Lithium forms only normal oxide. Potassium, rubidium, cesium forms normal oxides, peroxides and also superoxides. So mind it here, KO2 meaning superoxide, K2O2 is peroxide, K2O is normal oxide. Now here I have a question for you written in red. Magnetic nature of peroxide, what do you expect? What is the magnetic nature of peroxide? Does peroxide contains any unpaired electrons? No, they are all paired. See this is a paired one, this is a paired one, this paired one, and this is also paired, this is also paired. In fact, this one is bonded, this one should be bonded. So here there is no unpaired electron. So when there is no unpaired electron, I have told in the very beginning class, what is its magnetic nature? Uttar Pradesh. Unpaired electrons means paramagnetic. So do I have any unpaired electrons here? No. So peroxides are diamagnetic or paramagnetic. No unpaired electrons. So it should be diamagnetic. Whereas superoxides, when you talk about superoxides, there is an odd number of electrons, 3 electrons. 1 electron is unpaired. So that's why I call it as what? Paramagnetic in nature. Paramagnetic in nature. Now here itself, let's talk about the colors also. Peroxides, diamagnetic, no unpaired electrons, so diamagnetic. And will they exhibit color? No, they are colorless. They are generally colorless. Whereas superoxides, they are colored. Okay, they are what? Colored. So here itself, let me write that point, that diamagnetic nature of peroxides and colorless. So as said just now, if I ask you Na2O, normal oxide, Na2O2, peroxide. So Na2O2, should it be color or colorless? According to this statement, it is colorless. But what we observe in reality is, it is pale yellow in color. Pale yellow color. Why is it pale yellow color? Because as said just now, Na2O2 does not exist as pure Na2O2. There is always some minute traces of sodium superoxide. Sodium superoxide, but it is very less in quantity. But nevertheless, it is there. So because there is a minute quantity of sodium superoxide, let me write here, pale yellow due to the presence of Na2O2 in traces. Traces means very minute quantities. So Na2O2 is what in color? Pale yellow color. Even though it is peroxide, it is pale yellow color because of the presence of NaO2. Then if I ask you the same thing, if I write with respect to KO2, should it be color or colorless? KO2, should it be color or colorless? Obviously, KO2 is what? Superoxide. Superoxide should be colored. In fact, the color of this one is yellow color. Okay, so just informative points could be asked in the exam. So just remember that. Okay. Then moving on to the next. That is metal oxide, normal metal oxide that we have formed on reacting with oxygen. When they react with water, they form metal hydroxide, like Na2O on reacting with water will form NaOH and also liberate hydrogen gas here. Okay, so remember this property, that is metal oxide on reacting with water will form metal hydroxide, and they are called as alkalis. They dissolve in water. That's why order of basic character, if you talk about the basic character is from top to bottom. If you talk about the basic nature from top to bottom of lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium, what will happen? Think, all of them are metals. OH, 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 OH and OH. Think about this. So I hope you thought of lithium hydroxide is least basic, cesium hydroxide is more basic in nature. Yes or no? So in fact, from top to bottom, metallic oxides are there. Oxides or hydroxides, both, whatever you see. So which can easily lose. I think in 9th standard we have studied about Arrhenius acid, Lewis acid, Arrhenius base and Lewis base. Normally, what is the base? When dropped in water, it should release OH minus ions, correct? So which can easily release OH minus ions? Cesium. So this OH minus can be easily broken off than lithium OH minus. Why? Lithium smaller atom holds the OH minus stronger. Cesium bigger atom, force of attraction with the OH minus is lesser. So weaker force of attraction easily liberating OH minus. Any substance which liberates OH minus ions, they are called as bases. Any substance which liberates H plus ions, they are called as acids. Okay, so on a whole, this is what the order of basic character is. So remember this, in fact most important. Okay, then metal oxides, metal hydroxides we are talking. One second. Correct this, there is no liberation of hydrogen there because water, we are reacting with water, no? So hydroxides are formed, just hydroxides, no liberation of hydrogen, correct that. Then metal hydroxides properties, they are what? Colorless, they are strong alkalis, you know that, they are strong alkalis, strong bases, and they dissolve in water by releasing heat. So when they let's say NaOH, take NaOH, drop it in water. You take a beaker that is containing water, take NaOH crystals and drop it in water and stir it, they dissolve in it. And not only they dissolve in it, when you touch the beaker, it will be sensed warm. Okay, the reason why the beaker becomes warm is this reason. The dissolution of water by releasing heat. Heat is released. Okay, so these are the properties of metal hydroxides. Alright, so these are the properties that you must remember. And let's move to the next one, that is exception. What is the exception? No, exception is here, not here. In fact, I was writing the exception regarding sodium peroxide and Na2O2. Its color pale yellow. Normally it is colorless, no, it is pale yellow because of the presence of NaO2. So here I thought of writing an exception. Fine. So we have already written it. Fine. Then, out of peroxides and superoxides, which is a strong oxidizing agent? Okay. Between superoxides and peroxides, remember this point. Superoxides are stronger oxidizing agents. Stronger oxidizing agents than peroxide. What do you mean by stronger oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent means that agent helps in oxidation. Remember this point, very important, because very frequently you will be coming across this point, even in the organic, even in the physical and in the inorganic. Oxidizing agent, meaning agent that helps in oxidation. Suppose if I ask you, reducing agent, agent that helps in reduction. Okay, and interestingly, oxidizing agent will not undergo oxidation, it will undergo reduction. Okay, oxidizing agent itself will undergo reduction but helps in oxidation. Same way, reducing agent reducing agent helps in reduction and itself undergoes oxidation. Okay, so remember this phrase. Again we will discuss while it comes in the organic and even some of the inorganic parts also. Okay, so right now oxidizing nature, if you talk about, the strong oxidizing agent is superoxide, which is stronger than peroxide. So when I talk about Na2O2, that is Na2O2 is superoxide or peroxide? Peroxide. So Na2O2 on treating with sulfuric acid, it will form sodium sulfate Na2SO4 plus peroxide, that is H2O2 is formed. Just a replacement. Okay, displacement reaction. Hydrogen. Sodium is more reactive than hydrogen, so it will kick out this hydrogen and form sodium sulfate. And hydrogen left over will go with oxygen and forms H2O2. Simple. It's a displacement reaction. Same. K2O2 on reacting with H2SO4. What should the product? Same. Kicks out this hydrogen and forms K2SO4, potassium sulfate plus H2O2. Remember this reaction. You will be studying about this reaction again in the preparations of hydrogen peroxide and hydrogen and its compounds. So now itself, if you remember, things are easy. So K2O2 on reacting with sulfuric acid, K2SO4 plus H2O2. Now pay attention for this one. KO2, most important. KO2 is what? Peroxide or superoxide? KO2 is what? It is a superoxide. Now superoxide is dash oxidizing agent, stronger oxidizing agent than peroxide. So what happens is, normal reaction it is K2SO4 plus H2O2. So what is the difference between this and this? And you say it is a stronger one. Yes, it is a stronger one. That's why this H2O2 further be oxidized into H2O and oxygen gas is released. So remember this. So ultimately, if you write the reaction for KO2 plus H2SO4, the products are K2SO4 plus H2O plus O2. So this is the ultimate reaction. Okay, so I am just explaining that H2O2 is further oxidized into H2O plus O2. Okay, so because KO2 is a strong oxidizing agent, it can oxidize H2O2 into H2O and O2. Clear? So this clearly explains that superoxides are stronger oxidizing agents than peroxide. Okay, and this one is also most important reaction. Fine, so just note it down. Alright, so I hope you have done this. So let's move to the next one. That is reaction with halogens. X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So metals on reacting with halogen will form respective metal halides. Especially we see reaction with chlorine and bromine a lot. Okay. So, and they form what? Monovalent. Both of them are monovalent. Halogens are also monovalent anions. Alkali metals are also monovalent cations. So that's why they form Na or MX type. MX type. Okay. And moreover, that MX type is of what compounds? Just now I have already explained that it is a ionic compound. So for simplicity, if you write any reaction, let's say sodium plus chlorine gives NaCl, Na plus Cl minus. Potassium plus iodine gives potassium iodide, Ki. So all of them, they are what? Ionic compounds. And now most important point, that is exception point, that is lithium fluoride, Li plus F minus, they do not dissolve in water. You take any other salts, NaCl, drop it in water, uppu, salt, take it and drop it in water, it dissolves in water. Potassium, when you drop it in water, it dissolves in water. Okay. But lithium fluoride do not dissolve in water. The reason why it does not dissolve in water is its lattice energy is greater than hydration energy. Yesterday's class, or very first class, I think I have said, if lattice energy is greater than hydration energy, will the substance dissolve in water? No. For a substance to dissolve in water, hydration energy should be greater. Yes or no? Hydration energy should be greater, such that it dissolves. If hydration energy is lesser, meaning lattice energy is higher. If lattice energy is higher, then the substance will not dissolve. Okay, so this is the point. Li plus F minus do not dissolve in water due to higher lattice energy than hydration energy. Then reaction with sulfur and phosphorus. Metals on reacting with sulfur will form respective metal sulfides and okay, so metal sulfides and metal with phosphorus will form N3P, right? So suppose if you want to, how can you write the formulas and all? As said already, if you know that metals valence is what, +1, sulfur belongs to oxygen family, right? Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. So oxygen family -2. So crisscross them. What do you get? M2S. That's why I've written this. And phosphorus, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. So they are -3. So phosphorus is having -3. So metal +1, phosphorus -3, crisscross, M3P. And now the interesting point is this: M2S on treating with water will form metal hydroxide plus metal hydrogen sulfide. Okay. Then if I treat M3P with water, it forms metal hydroxide as usual plus, most important point, that is it forms phosphine, PH3, phosphine is formed. Okay, remember that. In fact, you will study about the preparation of phosphine like this reaction again in group 13, sorry, group 15. Okay. So better if you remember now itself. On a whole, let's give an example for these things. Example: sodium on reacting with sulfur will form sodium sulfide, Na2S, and sodium on reacting with phosphorus will form, in fact, P4S8, and you have to balance it. So it forms Na3P. Now this sodium sulfide on further reacting with water, it forms what? NaOH plus hydrogen sulfide, that is sodium hydrogen sulfide, plus treating with water, it forms same as usual NaOH plus phosphine, PH3. So just give an example. Write it with potassium by yourself. Potassium by sulfur and phosphorus. Write the reactions. Finish the reactions by yourself. Only when you write, you are mastering in it. Otherwise, for some time you will remember. After that, you will forget it. So pay attention and write for it. So I hope you have written for it. Okay. And for today, we shall stop with this. In the next class, we have one property, that is chemical properties are all done. I don't consider it as chemical properties like this. We have a separate thing, that is reaction with ammonia. Metals reaction with ammonia, which is very important for the objective points. So for today we shall stop. See you in the next class.